Welcome to Creating a Simpler Life, where simple doesn't mean easy. I'm Kathy, and my husband Rich and I are building an off-grid, earth-sheltered house here in the Adirondacks of New York State. And today we're going to share the construction of our green roof concrete dome home over the past 4 years. This is a green roof, earth-sheltered house kit from Formworks Building. These homes are custom designed, engineered, one-of-a-kind, sustainable, energy efficient, and provide a level of safety like no other. The Formworks patented building system is designed to be built by anyone, anywhere. Most people hire a contractor to build from beginning to end, but we chose to act as our own general contractors for some parts of the build and build what we could on our own. These homes are usually built into the side of a mountain or hill. However, because we live in a very wet climate, we chose to build at grade. To save money on fill, we chose to lower the level of the grade of our clearing and store the dirt to bury the house with later on. The kit includes the custom designed and engineered stamped blueprints, the structural system, which includes steel beams, rebar, anchor plates, tubes, nuts, bolts, and foam forming system, the waterproofing system, the umbrella system, and the ventilation system, which is the ERV unit and all the controls. The concrete company we hired used a total station instrument. This is a surveying technique that measures angles, distances, and elevations so that the house foundation, even with all the curves, is laid out exactly according to plan. One of the reasons we chose this home is because it's built mostly of concrete, which is a sustainable building material that is low maintenance and can last hundreds of years. The more prepared you are, the smoother each task will go. Here we're preparing to raise the steel with family and friends. The structural steel is a prefabricated, easy-to-assemble, bolt-together system that is easily erected here by family and friends. Our home is made up of 3 components: the main open-ended dome, a 2-level add-on tunnel, and a small tunnel as our entryway. steel I-beams control the shape of the structure, and the spacing and attachment of the reinforcing steel rebar will provide the primary forming strength. We were able to install the lower rebar, but hiring the bar busters was one of the best decisions we made in this build. They are truly masters of their profession. The end walls are framed like a conventional home, however they needed to be connected to the I-beams. This is accomplished with wooden blocks and J-bolts. Domes and arches are very strong because their curved shapes distribute the weight evenly across the structure. This is a compressive strength. Basically, the load is transferred outwards and downwards, allowing these structures to hold extremely large amounts of weight on top. Once the rebar is in place, a high-density foam liner is attached to the interior steel of the structure to serve as both form and backstop for the shotcrete process. We held this in place using wood lath and rebar tie wire. The home is designed for passive solar gain during the winter, so all the main rooms and living spaces have windows facing to the south. Once the foam was completed, it was time for shotcrete. The shotcrete is applied from the exterior, so depth gauges were added and painted to make sure the concrete is sprayed to a minimum of a 4-inch thickness. And on the inside of the dome, we placed braces in areas where there was concern about sagging from the weight and pressure of the concrete during its application. Shotcrete is concrete sprayed under pressure through a hose. It's the same process that is used to create concrete swimming pools. And then we spent the next 28 days watering the dome to ensure proper curing. This allows the chemical reaction between the cement and the water to fully occur, resulting in the concrete reaching its maximum strength. The foam was completely removed from the interior of the dome and will be repurposed later when we cover the dome with dirt. Framing the interior walls was pretty much the same as building any home on a slab, with the exception of the curved concrete walls, which created a challenge. We decided to finish the interior cement walls with an alkali-resistant fiberglass reinforced Portland cement. It's applicable for both interior and exterior use, both above and below grade. It provides both structural strength and can be finished with any texture you choose. It also improves fire, water, air, and sound control, provides additional thermal insulation benefits, and provides damp proofing of basement walls. Knowing we weren't going to finish the dome before winter, we decided to give it 2 coats of waterproofing. Then we focused on closing it up the best that we could to get through the winter. To insulate the joint between the house and the retaining wall, we used rigid foam boards over ice and water shield. The footings for the retaining walls are 16 inches thick and up to 7 feet wide. The walls themselves are 12 inches thick and up to 17 feet at their highest point. Because of the height, they had to be built and poured in 2 parts. The first pour was 12 feet high. Vibrating the concrete is important because it removes air pockets and helps to pack the particles more tightly, thereby increasing the density and strength of the concrete, which in turn creates a stronger and more durable wall. The waterproofing is a dual-layer system consisting of virgin HDPE, sodium bentonite, and a protective layer consisting of non-woven polypropylene. The HDPE provides the first layer of waterproofing, while the bentonite self-sealing capabilities ensure positive puncture protection under hydrostatic conditions. The membrane is held in place using a 22 caliber power actuated tool on 1-inch drive pins with washers. Because of our wet climate and the fact that we could only accomplish so much in a given day, we also chose to protect the membrane by sealing the top with zip tape and a no-name flexible sealer. We added a layer of rollout foam insulation on the entire top of the dome. The repurposed foam pieces were placed against the membrane to protect it. Then dirt was piled near the dome, leaving a space so that sand can be put between the dirt and the house. The sand drains well and has no large rocks that can damage the membrane. To prevent too much pressure on the house, we would bury one side to about 8 feet and then go to the other side and do the same. Each level up, we added more repurposed foam. We call the area by the front entry that was created by the retaining wall the pit. Here we added extra insulation and then filled it with gravel so that it would always drain well. This is in addition to the drainage that was added when the walls were constructed. Rock retaining walls also needed to be built on all sides of the house to help hold back the dirt. The more foam on the top of the dome, the less likely there will be any heat loss. Once we had about 12 inches of dirt on the very top, we added a third layer of roll-out foam and all the remaining repurposed foam we had. Then we covered the entire dome with a drain mat, which provides protection for the waterproofing materials and enhances their waterproofing performance. We finished up with another 12 inches of soil on top, seeded the roof, and added hay and netting to protect it so that it could grow in before winter. When the retaining walls were constructed, we had them set back so we could attach pressure-treated 1x4s to the walls and cover them with T111 siding so that it would be flush with the T111 already on the house. We also decided to raise the height of the retaining wall on the right side of the entry so that the roof line we planned to build would be equal on both sides of the center peak. We framed the back of the parapet walls with pressure-treated lumber, added additional rigid foam insulation, and used metal roofing to close them in. Besides being super energy efficient, these homes are also low maintenance, very quiet, and sustainable. They offer extra protection against extreme weather, such as high winds, hailstorms, and natural disasters, such as tornadoes, hurricanes, and forest fires. We finished the exterior of the house with the Adirondack-style architecture that we wanted, but once again, we didn't finish before winter set in. We still have some detailing on the front porch to finish and an entire screened porch to build along the south wall on the back of the house next year. And honestly, even though it's taking us what seems like a long time to build this earth-sheltered house, we look back and can't help but feel pride in all that we have accomplished. Stay tuned next year for updates on finishing our rustic interior. We wish you all a safe, happy, and healthy new year. And remember, we're creating a simpler life in the Adirondacks, but simple doesn't mean easy.